Hi everyone, Elizabeth Dot here in sunny Florida in the pool where it's the only place to be because of the heat at this time of day. And I'm joined by my three best friends. There's Legacy, if you can see her going around and around in circles, waiting for me to throw a toy right here. And Status and Epic behind me, who are also waiting for me to throw a toy. Go on, go get it. Be nice to letting their sister go by without jumping on them. All right, Stat, go get it. Good. Come on, Ep. Get in. Come on, Epic, go get it. Go on, Ep. Come on, Epic, in. Come on, Ep, get in the pool. Come on, Epic, get in the pool. Yay, so now everybody's in. All right, so everybody's happy, everybody's in. This is their favorite thing to do. And I use this as part of my relationship building routine with my dogs. And that's what we're going to talk about today is relationship building. I did a live video, but it kind of got split up funny. So I'm redoing another video. And wanted to talk about relationship building. One of the things on my list to do this summer was to work on let's see, Legacy's a lot cuter to watch than I am. It was to work on some training videos for students and people that were just interested in my philosophy and how I train. And so the very first one that I want to talk about, I thought about I can write this as a blog post, but a lot of times people get more out of a video. You can see they're all over there having a good time. Epic says, please throw the frisbee. So the very first thing I teach my students is relationship building. I think it is the most important aspect of your teamwork or your team that you're going to become with your dog. Some of the very best handlers in the world, well, actually all the best handlers in the world, if you look, if they have a top dog that's consistently winning, doing really, really well, look at the relationship that they have. They have an amazing relationship with their dogs. The way they feel about them, the way that dog feels about, their handler, the way the handler feels about the dog, it's amazing. Probably one of the best relationships I've ever seen out of two handlers. This is a friend of mine, Tori Self and Rev. And because Tori is from here and we used to train at the same place years ago, I got to kind of see that relationship building between the two of them. And I do know that it's the way that Tori feels about Rev and the way that Rev feels about Tori. Tori says that Rev is magic and that's what she's become. The very first thing you have to understand is that the way you think about your dog is what they're going to become. So if you think about your dog as, really not what I wanted, I could work this way or that way, they're too hyper or they're too this, that's what that dog is going to become. And that is going to really, really come between you and your teamwork and your handling. If you think of your dog as amazing, he's a champion, he's going to be a future champion, this dog can do no wrong, that dog will become that. It doesn't mean you're going to be permissive and let that dog run all over you, but it does mean that that what you think of that dog is a reflection on what they will become. It is absolutely true. When we put our egos on top of our dogs, like we think that they're embarrassing us because they didn't do this or that. And as a dog trainer, I can tell you, we get very easily, it comes back on us, especially me. I'm supposed to be teaching, I'm supposed to be a professional, which I consider myself a professional. And if I don't do well, and my students are watching, of course I feel like, oh geez, I can't even do it, and I'm asking them to do it. But I have to be very careful in the sense that I don't put that kind of feeling on my dog, because it is going to make things worse. So how do we get that kind of relationship? Well, the first thing is, as I said, you have to think about your dog that way, is understanding that you cannot lie to a dog. I've been very blessed to be able to work with some of the top people in the world and learn from them over the years. And most of them, and I think probably the best advice I got in relationships was from Winnie Pape, saying years ago, you cannot lie to a dog. That dog knows exactly how you feel about them, whether you cover it up or not. And so that is the start. So when you bring your puppy home, right, you don't know what you're going to get. That puppy is a blank slate. The puppy doesn't understand what to expect from you. and you don't understand what to expect from the puppy. And so the very first thing I teach my students in my young dog class, and even actually in my beginning class, is building that really spectacular relationship with them and identifying what that means. So, first of all, if I'm going to build a relationship with my dog, that I want my dog to think I'm amazing. I don't want my dog to do what I ask them to do because I said so, right? That's the old way and the old method of thinking, and we have found that, yeah, it works, but for a speed sport like agility, we want that drive, and we want to put so much value in that dog that they just can't wait to get out there and run. They're screaming, oh my God, please let me go, let me go, let me go. Okay, that's what I want for my agility dog. I'm doing obedience now, and that's what with Epic, and I'm finding that's what a lot of the obedience people want now. They want that dog that really wants to heel and really wants to go out and do their go outs and their sends and their directed jumping and their glove, and to go out there and get those articles. Okay, so it's pretty much the same thing. And what we have found over the years is, since I've been training, and I've been training dogs for about 25 years, I've been in the community for about 25 years, what we used to see in training where the dogs were just going through the motion of doing one particular thing, like they were going out and getting a glove and obedience, so they were going out and doing jumps. They were going out and doing it, yeah, okay, but they weren't real happy about it. And that was because we thought that we had to be very harsh with them and they had to do what we said. And we found that that's not true, that things are not like that anymore. There's a better way to train a dog. Purely positive doesn't mean that you're permissive. It doesn't mean that I'm going to let my dogs run all over me. I don't allow my dogs to do dangerous things without a correction, and I will give them a correction if they're flying out the door and down the street. That's one thing I have to address differently. But when I'm teaching brand new things to a dog, I want those things to be fun and exciting and the dog to want to work with me. Okay, so the very, very first step to doing that is for my dog to think everything we do is so much fun. Every dog is different. As an instructor, as a trainer working my own dogs, and within even my own breed, within even the own family, Epic and Status are father and son. Those two dogs couldn't be more different than each other. I've learned a lot from my students, not only just working because I've had the same breed for so many years, but I've learned so much from my students. Bless their hearts. I've learned so much from them by working with them and identifying what their dogs need because of all the different breeds that come, right? They all are predisposed to how they're made up genetically, but they're also all predisposed to doing different things even within the same breed. For instance, I have 2 Aussie puppies that come on Friday mornings, they're starting brand new. Blank slates. The people are blank slates and the puppies are blank slates. That's actually, to me, a lot of fun because you're just starting to teach new people how exciting it is to work with a dog and how much fun it can be. And that's what it is for this mother and daughter. They didn't know dog training could be this much fun, and you could do these kind of things with your dog. Both of their puppies, though, are very different. They're a month different. They're not related, but they're very different. One is like, I like to say, like Status. Status loves to do anything, and he's just always up for anything. Okay? He came that way. I am blessed that he came that way. But he has a tendency to not think, just fling himself through things and just do things because they're there and exciting to do. And so I had to adapt my handling and my training to getting him to calmly do things for me because I know that excitement's going to be there. So what I do with him is very, very different than what I do with his father, Epic. It's the same thing with these 2 puppies. Getting the one puppy to calm down and work and think through things is a challenge. The other puppy is more like Epic. Let me see Epic over my shoulder there. That puppy is gets bored easily. Doesn't like piecework, the foundation flat work stuff. She wants action. She likes the tunnel. She likes her mom to be motivated and excited and animated. And so that puppy we do things completely differently with the other puppy. Okay? One thing that's imperative is if you are working with a trainer, that they can identify those 2 dogs and that they are different and they require 2 different sets of training completely. And to find a trainer that's going to be able to deliver those things to your dog and understand. Dogs aren't cookie cutter. What works for one dog doesn't always work for another. Okay? So, understanding that is going to be a key thing in your relationship, is understanding what kind of dog you have. Do you have a dog that's really, really motivated, what I think is a doer, what I would call a doer, which is Status? Or do you have a dog like Epic, who is a thinker? Epic had to think through everything and then he put in the drive. But if I don't push him and I don't drive him, he doesn't do it. Legacy was a thinker in the beginning, but she's becoming more and more animated like Status. So she's kind of in the middle of, and then Status is very, very high drive. So I have to modify what I do with him. Even in his brother's a thinker and he's a doer. So understanding the kind of dog you have. The second step is finding out what works for them. What do they like, right? What makes your dog tick, okay? Is it food? Epic is all about food. He couldn't care less about toys. We've done a lot of toy building exercises, but I'm going to really kind of shape and work on what he loves more than anything. You know, there is people that push, you have to tug, you have to tug, you have to tug. I'm not one of those people that says your dog has to tug, because a lot of breeds aren't meant to tug. They just don't want to tug. They're not excited about tugging. I see your toy, Epic. He's going to be over here any minute to get that toy. Anyway, or you have a dog that loves toys, and that toy is the thing. And I know people whose dog won't even take food while they train. Alibi was like that. She'd spit it out. She'd take it. You know, to me, that's not real exciting for her, to force her to take something. And so some people, you know, want their dog to do both. Status likes both. He'll take a treat or a toy when I work him. Legacy likes treats. Epic likes treats. I use a lot of treats because I have bad shoulders, and so tugging a lot with my dogs bothers them. So I use a lot of treats. So it all depends on what's comfortable for you too. But you've got to figure out what they like and what makes them tick. Okay? That's the next thing. When my new students come, the very first week they come, I give them homework. And one of the pieces of homework that I ask them to do is to sit down on the floor, put the other dogs away. It's got to be a one-dog game. You put the other dogs away in the bedroom or wherever so that they can't see what you're doing. Or, I like to put them behind a sliding glass door so they see me working with the other dogs, so they're like really jealous and excited when they get to have their turn. Sit on the ground with a toy or cookie or a hybrid toy, which Epic loves hybrid toys because I get them to play with it, and then there's a cookie in the end as a reward, and I use a lot of hybrid toys. Play with that dog on the floor, hit the ground, get them all excited, beat on their sides, because agility is a contact sport. A lot of things are contact sport. So since agility is such a contact sport, you know, smack their sides around, because the weave pulls are going to smack them and get all excited. Grab their feet and see if they'll pull their feet away, right? And you're having a really good time with your dog, and your dog's having a really good time with you. You start easy, like in the house, in the bedroom, somewhere comfortable. Work out to the patio like we are here. You know, right behind me is my little doggy gym, right behind those chairs. So we go out there a lot, and we work, not only work in the gym, but we work playing with toys. And then maybe out in the backyard, right? There's the backyard. So I'll go out there and I'll work a little bit in the backyard with my dogs. Then I might take it to the front yard. Then, and this is for my puppies. My adult dogs, you know, I don't do this as much with my adults, but with my new puppies. Then I take it somewhere else. If you're traveling and you find a safe place to stop, pull over into a big field and play with your dog. Even if they're on leash. If it's a puppy and you don't trust them, don't let them off leash. But work with them even on leash in that field. Play with them. Get them all excited about working. Because in your agility career or your obedience career, fly ball herding career, whatever it is you're doing, you're going to be in different situations where you're outside. Okay? I have to be more valuable, especially if I have a hunting breed, okay, or a terrier that's meant to go and do, you know, their instinct is going to be stronger. It's like asking my dogs to do agility next to sheep. For Epic, it's agility. Asking him to do obedience in front of an agility ring, not going to happen. Even in his best day of relationship building, it's still not going to happen. He's not going to heal with me around equipment because it's so valuable. But I want to be valuable so that none of the birds and the squirrels and the trees and one of my border collies loved balls, and we used to do trials in the middle of an orange grove. And she would run around the course and look at the oranges on the trees, like, oh, balls, 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 you know. And so I want to be more important than all of that going on around. And so that's how you build that relationship, is you work on that. Okay, so you identify that. Okay, number 3 is invent little games that will build your relationship. One thing I do actually every day, and my dogs love it in the summer, is swimming. They look forward to this. We teach classes in the mornings. We come home, we have breakfast. We teach classes in the mornings. If I'm off, we have breakfast, and we get in the pool. And even if it's 20 minutes, we get in the pool. My dogs love it. They look forward to it. It's something they do with me. When they play games with me, they play with me. I throw the toys, like this one, out, right, for them to get. And they come back to me with a toy, right? Epic, Status, come on, Stat. Although Status likes to jump, so he really wants to go. But they come back to me for it, and I am part of the exciting game, right? So I'm a part of this game, and I'm making this fun for them, okay? Not just them swimming out on their own, just they interact with me during this game. This is part of relationship building. There's all kinds of things you can do to build your relationship. There is another... I play hide and seek with my dogs. I love to play hide and seek with my dogs. That's one of the most fun things because, one, you're working on impulse control, because I put them in a room, they have to stay there, and then I go and hide, and they love to find me, and so it becomes really exciting, and they have to work through all of that excitement, and they have to stay there, and so I will put them in my room and tell them, stay, and I go hide. And a lot of times I love to hide in the closet because there's slats there and I can see them, and they run around and look for me everywhere, and they just get so excited. And then when they find me, they're so excited. I found her. I'm so excited. Okay, and so that, to me, that's another relationship building game. So everything we do, even if you take your dog around the block every day, or you take them to McDonald's for a little cup of ice cream, right, they're going to remember that something good came from mom. And that's what we want, is that attention. Next time, I think I do one of these, I'm going to work on some attention exercises and things to get your dogs to work with you, okay, from a young dog standpoint, which will help with your relationship of getting that dog to work with you and play with you. Okay, so the 3 things really you have to think about is, 1, thinking of your dog as a champion right from the beginning. Number 2, not putting your ego on your dog. Okay, and that's actually part of number 1, right? So actually you could say that's kind of part of number 1. Number 1, think of your dog great. Don't put your ego on your dog, all right? And then number 2 is playing with your dog and getting that relationship foundation built. And I think the last thing would be, for me, is, my mind just went blank, so I have to think about this for a second. What was I going to say? You don't have to be the queen. I think that was number 2 in the step of the old jerk and pull training. You don't have to be the dominant queen of the house, right? Your dogs, that's not how you get that respect. That's not how you get that relationship. Being the number 1 queen. How you get the relationship is based on what they think of you. What does your dog think of you? You think about that today as you're watching this video and as you're thinking about your relationship. Right now, if you could think about what your dog thinks of you, think about that. What does your dog think of you? I absolutely know that my 3 dogs think I'm queen. I never had to force that on them. Not once did I have to force that on them. They still think of me as the queen because of what I do with them. Your relationship, and I talk a lot about this, has to be give and take. That is the number 1 secret to having dogs that do what they say. My dogs don't steal my food. My dogs absolutely get along with each other. Now, I've had 9 dogs over the years, and all of them have been that way. Okay, because yes, I tell them if I don't like something as well. But I know I have a good relationship with my dogs. It's give and take. Last thing I'm going to say, and then I'll let everyone go because this video is running really long at this point, is one thing people do mistake when they're teaching positive. And I consider myself more of a balance trainer, even though I do teach all of my behaviors positively. Nothing is ever corrected when I'm teaching something. Balance comes when it comes to being something dangerous, like I said. I will correct. I will correct for aggression. I will correct for something dangerous. things like that. But when I'm teaching a new behavior, and you have to understand, if my dog doesn't understand, then I shouldn't be giving them a correction. That is relationship building, and that is being respectful of them. And I will always be respectful of what kind of knowledge they have, okay? But I also will tell them when I don't like something. Just like if you were married to someone and you would not let your husband just walk all over you or your partner, or whatever kind of relationship you're in, you wouldn't let that person just walk all over you. There are times when you have to tell that person that you're in a relationship with, I don't like that. Stop doing that. I don't like that. They're going to keep doing it if they don't know you like it. Okay? For instance, I know someone, wonderful woman with a dog, that's dog loves agility, but all of a sudden would just leave the ring because he would get so excited and he'd leave the ring. She didn't want to squash any of that drive, so she would just get him and bring him back. She wasn't telling him that she didn't want that in the relationship. She wasn't telling him, no, buddy, really, that's, stay with me. I want you to play with me. When she started giving him feedback that said, you know what, and it wasn't harsh feedback. It was, no, I don't think so. If you're not going to play with me, you can just go in there for a while and think about it. Or I'll run somebody else's dog if you don't want to play with me. That dog got that right away and went, oh, I'm so sorry, I had no idea. And it improved. Completely turn around and improved. If you're running a dog that's barking at you or having issues in the ring by biting your feet or tripping you up, and if you don't tell the dog that that's not what I want, no, I don't think so, I use wrong, okay? And I try to save my wrongs when I work with my dogs for specific things that really, no, I don't want you to do that. Legacy's having problems with her start line right now. She keeps leaving. And I'm like, wrong, it's not what I want. And I bring her back. And then I reward her for staying. That's what I want. But if I don't ever tell her she's wrong, how is she going to know? Right? It's just like not telling your friend that you don't want them kissing on your boyfriend. I'm sorry, but that's wrong. Please don't do that again. That's my boyfriend. Please don't flirt with him. And they probably would go, oh, I had no idea I was even doing that. We have to think of that too. And that's mutual respect. So I'm not being so positive it's not permissive. I mean, as long as what I think is not permissive. So I don't want to be letting my dogs not understand that that's not what I want. So that's part of relationship building too. That's part of having a good relationship with your dog. Okay? Not letting them run all over the place for the sake of getting that drive and agility, because I don't want to corrupt the drive. As long as you've built relationship for that dog to be with you, to be fun, and this is a reward for doing this. If you tell them every so often, not really what I want, buddy, that's not going to just completely blow everything you've done. And I think a lot of people fall into that category of thinking that's what's going to happen when they get to that point, that, oh my gosh, all the drive I've put in is just going to be gone. No, as a matter of fact, a lot of dogs respect that. I mean, they want to know, not in a harsh way or jerk and pull way like we used to do, like do what I want to do, right? Give them feedback, right? But nicely feedback. When you're training, if my dogs are aggressive, then that feedback is not going to be very nice. Okay, that's going to be, I don't think so, never in this house again. And I do that right away when they come home. I know Epic and Legacy both had guarding issues with food, and immediately stopped that. And that wasn't oh no, you're wrong kind of thing. It was no, never again. And so it fixed it right away. So, but understanding the balance of your relationship, and that's why I call myself a balance trainer. I want to understand how to balance this relationship with my dogs. So if you start to do those things, and think about that today, and my challenge to you is to, 1, tell me what you like the best about your dog in the comment section. Number 2, tell me what you think your dog thinks of you. Right now, at this time, what does your dog think of you? And think about that. And number 3, tell me what you think your dog's favorite thing is to do. Status is the pool, by far. I think Epic is definitely by far agility. That's his very, very favorite thing. Legacy loves to herd Status. That's her thing. She loves to go out and herd. She's obsessed with that. She is obsessed with watching Status. I know from She's going to herd eventually, and from my herding friends are saying, don't let her do that, don't let her do that. It is very hard not to let her do that at this point in time, but that's her thing. And if I can incorporate how to get that excitement into agility, I'll let you know. So, anyways, have a great day and a great weekend, and leave me feedback in the comment section. And I hopefully will see you next week, and we'll do a little bit of training. And I'll give you an exercise to do for something fun, maybe a turn, a tandem turn, directional, something like that. So I'll see everybody next week.